All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, but first and foremost, I wanted to apologize for the brief hiatus that I took the past couple of days. I've been sick. I've had a sore throat. I've had a cough, and I basically lost my voice for the past couple of days. I tried recording some videos during that time, but they just sounded like shit because my voice was gone. So I just waited until my voice was good enough that I could actually talk for at least 10 minutes. So this is that. So the first story that I want to talk about today was Flex Lewis training for the 2020 Mr. Olympia, where he intends to make his debut in men's open bodybuilding. Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of Flex as far as training or physique updates leading up to this year's Mr. Olympia, but recently on Instagram he posted a whole montage of training footage on his Instagram story with his training partner Rafael Brandao, where he looks to have put on some size for his men's open debut. Now, Flex is one of the guys that I'm most excited to see compete at the 2020 Mr. Olympia. You could argue that he's the greatest of all time to ever compete in the 212 category. He has won a total of 7 212 Mr. Olympia titles, and he's been competing in the 212 Mr. Olympia even since it was still 202. I believe 2012 was the first year they changed it from 202 to 212, and he competed at that 2011 Mr. Olympia where it was still 202, and they bumped it up to 212. So Flex has been around for a long time. He's been at the top of the game for a very long time, winning Mr. Olympias for the past 7 years. But even taking all that into consideration, he's still only 36 years old, so this is not a bodybuilder that's past his prime by any means, switching over to men's open. And I do think that Flex is the greatest of all time to compete in 212, and for a very long time, he was borderline unbeatable. And he was extremely complete. I mean, one of the strong points that he had was he was very consistent. He came in very consistently conditioned, but I think his back shots in the 212 are one of the most dominant things that he had. And you can see a lot of similarities between him and top-level guys at the Olympia right now, like William Bonac. Bonac is only 5'7". Flex Lewis is 5'5.5" inches tall, so only about an inch and a half shorter than Bonac. And obviously, Bonac was runner-up. He's an Arnold Classic champion. And Bonac's stage weight is somewhere around 230. So even though Flex Lewis competes in the 212, he's not 212 on stage. The 212 guys, they have their weigh-in 24 hours before the show. So they're 212 a day before, but after they carb up and fill out, they're probably closer to 220, 225, especially someone like Flex, who when he competes is about as round and full as they come. So I would anticipate when we see Flex on the Olympia stage in men's open, he's going to be somewhere around 230, 235. That's probably where I would guess he would be. And comparatively, it puts him right there with shorter guys like Brandon Curry, Hadi Chupin, and William Bonac, who were your top three at the 2019 Mr. Olympia. So while I think this training footage is indicative that Flex has put on some size, I don't think we need to see Flex put on a tremendous amount of size to be successful in men's open bodybuilding. Smaller guys with good conditioning are becoming more and more successful in men's open. So Flex might need to put on a few pounds to be more competitive with these bigger guys, but I think conditioning is what's going to be to his advantage, and the structure that he already has, the physique that he already has, is going to be competitive against these guys. So while I think a lot of people are looking to see a much bigger version of Flex because he is competing in open, I don't think that's what we're going to see, and I don't think that's what we need to see from Flex to be successful, even though he does look pretty damn big in these training videos. So shout out to Flex. I look forward to seeing you on that 2020 Mr. Olympia stage in December, assuming the Olympia still, in fact, happens in December. Now, the next story that I have for you guys is Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson related. Eddie Hall posting a physique update on Instagram, looking to be in extremely good shape for a strongman and in extremely good shape for Eddie Hall comparatively to how he looked back in 2017 when he won his World's Strongest Man title. Very visible, very separated abs, looking to have lost even more weight than when this challenge first began for this boxing match. And I think Eddie Hall's physique here is a testament to how seriously Eddie Hall is taking his conditioning for this boxing match. Despite being the smaller man in this fight, Hafthor Bjornsson 6'9", Eddie Hall about 6'3", and considerably lighter than Hafthor. We've seen the videos of Hafthor recently not looking to have that much speed. And if Eddie Hall is able to bring in a lighter physique, a more conditioned physique, and a much faster technique, I've said this before, but I think that will invalidate the size difference between Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson if Eddie is significantly faster, which it looks to be at this point. From a conditioning standpoint, he looks to be far ahead of where Hafthor is at. Now, granted, this fight isn't supposed to happen until September of 2021, so both men have well over a year to prepare for this fight. But at this point in time, Eddie is looking far superior to Hafthor, and right now he's my favorite to win. Now, that being said, there's a boxing coach who's also a very popular YouTuber named Vidal Riley, and Vidal was actually the coach for KSI when KSI fought Logan Paul and did that the YouTuber boxing match that raised all kinds of money, had all kinds of viewers, broke all kinds of records for live streaming on YouTube. And as you guys know, KSI beat Logan Paul both times using Vidal as his coach. Now, Vidal Riley posted a video on Instagram recently, or not on Instagram, but on YouTube rather, offering his services to coach Eddie Hall and offer some of his expertise to Eddie Hall in preparing for this boxing match. And so far, Vidal has a pretty perfect record with these YouTube boxing matches, even though, Hafthor and Eddie are both big social media personalities. I wouldn't really call it a YouTuber boxing match. This is a battle of the behemoths, world's strongest man boxing match. And even though these two are much more than entertainers fighting, they've done a damn good job of being entertainers, because I think the promotion for this fight has been incredible. The amount of drama between these two, the way they're selling this fight, I think they're doing a tremendous job, whether this beef and drama, how much of it is real, how much of it is staged, how much of it is just selling for the fight. In any case, they've done a very good job of selling this fight and selling this rivalry between the two of them. Even if a large portion of that is just promotion, my hat's off to him, because it's definitely got me hooked into watching this fight. All right, now next up in the news, I want to talk about Julius Maddox again, who will be attempting 800 pounds here in less than 3 weeks now. So Julius Maddox keeping it real here, posting a workout fail, or a bench press attempt fail, I should say, on his Instagram, where he attempts 790 pounds at 3 weeks out from his 800-pound attempt. Just 10 pounds shy of the 800-pound world record. Now, his current world record, I believe, is 770 pounds. So this is a 20-pound jump from the current raw bench press world record and his current PR. Now, as you can see here, he does move it a little bit. He does get it up off his chest, then he fails the lift towards the lockout portion of the bench. But what impresses me here is I don't really know the circumstances of where in his training this fell, but typically a powerlifter doesn't hit a one-rep max like this close to an attempt like this, a world record bench press attempt. You're not going to hit a one-rep max typically this close to that meet, again, 3 weeks out. So to me, this could have been something he did at the end of his workout just for fun, just to see if he could do it, just to, maybe build some confidence or momentum going into the 800. But honestly, even though he failed this lift, my prediction is we're still going to see him hit this 800-pound bench. That's my prediction. I think he's still going to get it. I don't think he's going to fail the 800. I think we're going to see a brand new world record. I think it's going to be an 800-pound bench by Julius Maddox. And I wanted to thank Julius, actually, because he did reach out to me on Instagram a couple days ago, and he thanked me for all the positive coverage that I had given him lately. And I appreciate that. And I'm being very genuine and sincere when I say I'm genuinely excited to see this bench press. I'm really looking forward to this event. It's going to be live streamed online, and I just think it's going to be awesome, and I think he's going to hit 800 at this bench press meet that they've moved up to June 20th, I believe, is the new date for that meet. So we're 15 days away right now, and I'm looking forward to it, because obviously not a whole lot is going on in the bodybuilding, powerlifting, and strongman world right now. A lot of stuff going on in the world outside of bodybuilding news, but not a whole lot going on inside. All right, and the final story that I have for you guys today is about Brian Shaw. So in Brian Shaw's latest YouTube video, where he's dumbbell pressing 150-pound dumbbells, he briefly teases about a bodybuilding competition, maybe a future in bodybuilding. This is something that he's hinted at before with Eddie Hall. He's hinted at in other Q&As. And again, dropping kind of a joking suggestion in this video. The main focus of the video is him dumbbell pressing these 150-pound dumbbells. He gets them for about 6 reps with the help of his training partner, who is a former bodybuilder by the name of Tyler Stickle. Now, towards the end of the video, he was flexing in front of the camera after performing the bench press and some skull crushers there. And his bodybuilding training partner asked him when he would be stepping on the bodybuilding stage, and Shaw's response, "I don't know. I'm a few weeks out," Shaw joked. "Just need a spray tan and I'll get a little dehydrated like Eddie Hall and I'll be good to go." So while he's clearly joking in this response here, bodybuilding is something that Brian Shaw has hinted at before, and he's posted physique updates before. And I would say for a guy of Brian Shaw's size, he's somebody that I think could pull off a bodybuilding show if he got lean enough. Obviously, a strong man doesn't walk around at a lean enough body weight or, just lean enough physique to look like a bodybuilder, because bodybuilders typically are the opposite of a strong man, and they're weakest on the day of the show, and a strong man is trying to be his strongest on the day of his competition. So they're really polar opposites in that regard, because a bodybuilder is so depleted when he competes, and a strong man is really as filled out and as well fed as he possibly can be, to be as strong as he possibly can be on the day of the competition. But Brian Shaw, for a guy that's 6'8" tall, roughly 450 pounds, his physique is pretty well proportioned for a guy of that massive size, and typically bodybuilders are much more successful being shorter. Typically 5'5" to 5'10" seems to be the ideal IFBB pro bodybuilder size. Now, that being said, even though Brian was joking here, seeing him step on a bodybuilding stage is certainly something I would want to see, and something I think he could pull off. I don't think he could be an IFBB pro or like a top-level, national-level competitor, but could he look decent on a bodybuilding stage? Could it make a good, entertaining video? Could it make a good, entertaining crossover story? Absolutely. Could he get down to a lean enough body weight? Yes. I think he certainly can, but obviously this year he's still planning on preparing for the World's Strongest Man in 2020, so I don't think we would see him do a bodybuilding show this year. But maybe with Eddie Hall and Half Thor crossing over to boxing, maybe next year in 2021 we could see the crossover for Brian Shaw to bodybuilding. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up if you did, in fact, enjoy it. And as always, I apologize for the couple days hiatus. Like I said, I've been sick for like a week. I still feel like crap, to be honest with you guys, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys, just to get something out there. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.